And now I'd like to introduce Jim Ahern, who will, today's topic is the four-way speech contest. Thank you.
Good morning. I think it was a little weird for the four students competing to hear the four-way test. They've been probably dreaming about the four-way test for a few weeks now, at least, so welcome to Rotary. I did want to thank to the teachers. Brian Carr couldn't make it today. Where is he? Oh, what are you doing back there? Okay, you're hiding. Okay. First of all, stand up, Brian. Brian is the English teacher at Hudson High School, and I want to give him and Matt Peterson a round of applause for what they've done to organize this. And unfortunately, Matt is leaving at the end of this year. He's going back to Hong Kong to teach, so we'll miss you. Okay. Last week I talked to a friend of mine, Jeff Collier, and those of you know Jeff, we talked about the four-way test, and he said, oh, I got to tell you, when I was 16, I won. And it was probably one of the most significant events in my life. I still remember getting ready. I remember the talk. I remember standing there. He's 16 years old, and Jeff is my age, so he has either a good memory or it had quite an impact on him. And the reason we sponsor a speech contest, it's probably one of the more critical skills that are out there. As you all probably have heard many times, speaking in public is the #1 fear, ahead of death, which basically means for the average person that goes to a funeral, they would rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy. So it's a great opportunity to develop yourself at a young age and do things that will stick with you and benefit you the rest of your life. Our four-way speech contest is over 50 years old, which means it's kind of cool because it was based on the four-way test of Herbert Taylor, and this is on the desk of supposedly right now 500,000 business executives, which goes a long way to say that the ethics in this country, driven by things like this, is an important way to build business in the right way. Okay. The process we're going to follow is pretty simple. The speakers have already drawn the order in which they're going to speak. They'll step up on the stage and jump right into their speech as soon as I give them a high sign that we're ready to go. And when they're done, that's the chance they're going to introduce themselves, talk about name, rank, serial number, what school they went to. I don't think any of them are seniors, so may not have college plans, but maybe they have some ideas that you could help them with. When we're all finished, the judges will move out of the room. We'll tally all the scores, and we'll come back and make presentations. So, without any other questions out there, we're going to get started. And so, speaker number 1.
Check if this is on. Looks like I'm just gonna be holding it. Just a couple of weeks ago, the world celebrated Valentine's Day by spending a romantic evening out to a fancy dinner with their significant others. The sale of roses and other flowers, or at my high school, the sale of student council carnation deliveries went through the roof. And students and adults alike rushed through their days to get to their after-school and after-work plans. Now, I spent my Valentine's Day staring into the dreamy blue eyes of my longtime boyfriend, Leonardo DiCaprio, as he drowned in the ocean during the movie Titanic. My heart will go on. However, those who aren't as fortunate as I am to have such a healthy relationship are often looked down upon and pitied in today's society. A problem that's only more noticeable and apparent if we just take a little look at the way we look at holidays. People are expected to start off the New Year's with a kiss as the ball drops. Every Valentine's Day, you're expected to have a hot date planned. And by the time you're in your mid-20s, even going home for Thanksgiving dinner with the family seems to always yield the dooming question of, so honey, when are you gonna get a boyfriend? Going to weddings, you're expected to bring a +1. And going to a movie or a fancy dinner alone is looked at by society as simply weird. But is being alone really such an issue? Why do we as a society look at solidarity with such disdain? Today, we will examine this issue together using the Rotary 4-way test. First, is it the truth? Now, there's no denying that we as humans are social creatures. According to famous psychologist Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, love and belonging is the second most important human need, falling shy only to biological sustenance such as food, water, and shelter. And it's not so hard to see our intense desire for human companionship and interaction if we only take a closer look at the world around us today and the way media portrays it. When Eponine from the musical Les Miserables walks through the rain in the streets singing, "On my own, pretending he's beside me," you can't help but feel bad for her. At least I couldn't, considering I started sobbing uncontrollably for the rest of the movie. And while this may seem like a completely legitimate reason to be sad and lonely, sometimes our irrational fear of being alone can lead to some ridiculous levels. Heck, at my high school, the girls even go to the bathroom in packs. And excuse me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure you can do your business in there just as well, with or without your 4 friends' help. And while this may seem like trivial issues, our society's stigma against spending time by ourselves can lead to much more detrimental effects. Which leads us to the second portion of the four-way test. Is it fair to all concerned? At my high school, for example, many of our classes are graded solely on classroom discussions, classroom debates, and classroom participation. However, introverts who are biologically less inclined to speak up in such crowded and noisy environments, in which students are screaming and yelling at each other from across the room over a debate on the death penalty, for example, these introverts are inherently more academically challenged and less likely to succeed, out of no fault of their own. Additionally, our society's stigma against being alone in solidarity can actually build goodwill and better friendships and harm it. Especially in society today, in which we are constantly inundated by the pinging of our cell phones and the laptop notifications from our email, it's getting increasingly more difficult for us to recharge by ourselves, both mentally and emotionally. While social media such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter can build goodwill and better friendships, it equally detracts from our ability to spend time to recollect our own thoughts. Even when I set aside my phone or turn off my computer, more than once have my friends come to me annoyed and angry because I didn't respond to their last Snapchat or I left them on read via text message. In conclusion, of course it's beneficial to all concerned. According to Psychology Today, solidarity not only boosts efficiency, productivity, and concentration, but it also allows us to improve our problem-solving skills. It allows us to connect more readily with ourselves, and consequently allows us to interact more positively with others. And with all these benefits associating with just spending a little time alone, maybe we shouldn't be so averse to spending those Friday nights in. Maybe being alone doesn't necessarily mean that we're lonely. In fact, I challenge you to not only treat others the way you want to be treated, but to treat yourself the way you want to be treated. Go take yourself out to that movie you wanted to see. Take a walk alone in the park. Next Valentine's Day, treat yourself to a romantic dinner, littered with rose petals and candle lit. Next New Year's Eve, give yourself a kiss, or at least try to. And only then, only when we learn to spend time by ourselves and with ourselves, will we truly learn to love ourselves. Now, would you please excuse me, but Leonardo DiCaprio and I have some of our own alone time to spend. Thank you. My name is Maria Zapp. I'm a junior at Hudson High School. I am president of our Speech and Debate team, vice president of our Science Olympiad team, and next year I hope to apply for college, go to college, and I hope to major in chemistry. Thank you.
Maria?
Yes. Yeah, it like comes off
James?
A little heavy, huh? Probably 4 years. No, actually, my wife is in graduate program right now, and she'll probably come back to the U.S. for job. We'll see. I don't know. No, she's in she's getting in. Just has to do 2 weeks of residency.
You judge students?
And hopefully she.
Testing.
Cool. There you go.
Yeah, so I think it'll be on this. Too close. Right, second. Yeah. Do I just hold it like this? Or like. Okay.
We're excited about this, thrilled about this with our kids. Program is really exciting.
Music has always been an integral part of society, but now in this current generation, it is becoming an even more important piece of our lives and our identities. As the years pass by, children and teens of all ages are constantly listening to music, whether it be through headphones, on the radio in the car, or blasting it through speakers. Everyone has different tastes, and not one single person has identical preferences to another. One can hear pop, country, rock, hip-hop, jazz, rap, blues. However, I do notice one genre that tends to be neglected and left out. Classical. Not always, but often enough. More and more kids are listening to Bieber rather than Beethoven. They pick Swift over Mozart. I understand that every single type of music has its own values and benefits, but unfortunately, the appeal of classical music has been shoved into the shadows as the children's love for symphonies and concertos dissipates into that thin layer of dust on your long-forgotten furniture. Whenever I attend a concert at Sevens Hall, I'm usually one of the few kids there. How did the appreciation for classical music not get passed on to my generation? I believe that more exposure of this type of music would give the adolescents a chance to acquire a taste for it. Is it the truth? Sometimes people ask if classical music does anything other than help you fall asleep after 2 minutes of listening to it. The truth is, yes, it does. But the entire truth is, there are so many more ways it can help you, more than you will ever really know. Its effects leave a special imprint on a person. For example, take Condoleezza Rice, former U.S. Secretary of State, who was trained to be a concert pianist. Or Norio Oga, former CEO of Sony, who is credited with mass-producing the compact disc, was also a maestro conductor for the Tokyo Philharmonic Orchestra. The pattern between classical music and success is evident, and dozens of other people who are also doubly talented can prove this relationship to be uncoincidental. Classical musicians are not just people who play notes off of a page. They are radical in their thinking, unique in their approach. It makes them creative. As a pianist myself, I've obtained confidence on stage from performances as well as the ability to multitask in my thoughts. I must admit, I would not be who I am today had I not connected with that realm of music. If I didn't, I'd be missing out on my potential, who I could have been. And it's not only that way for me, it's for others too. Is this fair to all concerned? You don't have to be a talented prodigy or a professional musician, because the point of it is to intertwine all of us together in our feelings, no matter who you are. Students can pick something sweet to listen to while walking their dog. If time is an issue, they can listen while doing their homework. Finding the perfect piece for an individual can sound impossible, but there's always one lingering on the shelf, sitting next to millions of others. One can browse online or get an app like Spotify, Pandora that gives variety to break up the monotony. The library always has CDs that you can check out for free. With technology at our very fingertips, the masterworks of Tchaikovsky, Chopin, and Bach can be downloaded on a phone with a single click. In this age of information, there is access to nearly everything and anything floating around online. Therefore, excuses are very slim for teenagers. Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Being involved in classical music is not a solitary activity. It will make friendships sprout now and grow throughout your entire life. I have met friends from states all over the country and from overseas through piano. By knowing music, an entirely different language in itself, another family begins to form and you become a part of that family. This introduces you to a new perspective of someone. And when you sit next to a person who enjoys the music that you also enjoy, there is an immediate connection deeper than the normal superficial things in your everyday life. Sometimes teens forget what the purpose of classical music was throughout history. It was to bring families and communities together, to leisurely enjoy the pleasures of the vibrant violin, the passionate piano, the overpowering orchestra. As the people of all different and diverse backgrounds sit together, they share something indescribable to any other person who has not experienced it before. Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Interaction with classical music will benefit a person physically, mentally, and even socially. Research studies have shown that listening to classical music helps to reduce pain levels, decrease blood pressure, aid relaxation, and improve sleep quality. It also helps to increase concentration and brain activity, as well as increase alertness. When a person is not trying to unwind, they can use it to boost their physical performance during exercise. In this way, students can avoid the depression and anxiety that knocks on their door after a stressful day and invite only happiness inside. Teens and adolescents are notorious for their turbulent emotions, which can be quelled by listening to some vivacious Vivaldi. Playing classical music can help make a person feel more comfortable with themselves and their self-image. After leaving yourself and your music exposed and vulnerable on stage, it somehow makes opening up to other people a lot easier than it ever was before. Expressing your thoughts and emotions is no longer a towering barrier to meeting new people, presenting in front of the class, or speaking up for yourself. Clearly, classical music is fair to all concerned, builds goodwill and better friendships, and has benefits that are nothing but the truth. So please, reach out to your friends, your family, your neighbors. Show them something so simple, yet so impactful, that will change their lives forever. I urge those teens out there to consider taking just a few minutes a day to immerse in classical music, to let their mind and body explore uncharted territory, to consider picking up their instruments, to fill the room with notes of sorrow and delight, even if it is not their strength, to consider the legacy that they will leave behind for the next generation. Because one never knows what power lies hidden that can be revealed with just a little bit of music. My name is Subi Simmons, and I'm a freshman at Hudson High School. I enjoy running cross country, swimming, and track.
I'm just warming it up.
Can't buy any points. Can't buy any points from your friend. No buying it. Okay, number 3. Is this working?
Good enough. The organizing system of our country's healthcare is the ACA, or the Affordable Care Act. The ACA affects everyone, either through Medicaid, a tax, or a healthcare exchange. In this system, no one is exempt from the principle, from each according to his needs to each according to his ability. This means that those who have greater ability pay more, and those who have greater needs receive more, regardless of their ability to pay. We now live in a system in which we all find ourselves participating in a commonly held healthcare system. And in a system that we all hold in common, government should, and even must, regulate our diets in order to minimize healthcare costs. I'll use the 4-way Rotary test to defend my claim. First, is it the truth? Yes. Good, healthy eating and regular exercise generally leads to a healthier life and less healthcare needs. Obese adults spend 42% more on direct healthcare than adults who are a healthy weight. Reducing obesity, improving nutrition, and increasing activity can all help lower healthcare costs. People who exercise regularly and have healthy eating habits live 3 to 7 years longer than someone who does not. Exercise also limits inflation associated with heart trouble. Healthy eating and exercise lowers your chances of cancer and other diseases. There may be a case where you have a normal BMI, but you do not get enough nutrients. In the case where you do not get enough nutrition, this can lead to a low red blood count, leaving yourself vulnerable to the cold, the flu, and other diseases. You also may feel cold all the time. Lower energy due to the lack of nutrition can lead to depression and anger. There also may be a case where you eat too much or you have unhealthy eating habits. Being overweight increases your chances of developing problems like heart disease, strokes, diabetes, and even some types of cancers. It is also not good to be obese while pregnant, as it can cause short and long-term problems for your child. The second question we must answer, is it fair to all concerned? Yes, it is fair to regulate our diets if we are in a commonly held healthcare system. Collectively, we are paying for each other. Let me give you an example. Person A makes good, healthy eating choices and exercises regularly. Person B makes unhealthy eating choices and is overweight. Person A pays more in healthcare than person B. According to the facts I just shared, person B is going to have a lot more health problems than person A. This is unfair for person A, for he is paying for person B's healthcare problems. But if government regulated our diets to our needs, then it would be fair. The third question, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Yes, it can. Exercise can boost happiness and reduce stress. Exercise burns cortisol. High cortisol levels increases the feeling of nervousness and anxiety. Some scientists say that just 30 minutes of exercise can help reduce depression and anger. Healthier people are happier, and happy people have strong and better relationships. Fourth and final question, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Yes, it would be beneficial to all concerned because if government regulates our diet in a way that we are healthier, it would improve lifespans. Healthier people tend to be happier people. Healthier people have lower healthcare costs, which would make it fair for all. It would not be beneficial to us if the majority of a nation was person B. That would make person A pay for person B's healthcare needs. But it would be beneficial if person A and B had a diet to fit their needs that would keep their BMIs normal. Regulating diets is a bold claim, but thanks to the four-way test, we understand that if we are going to have a commonly held healthcare system in which we are all paying for each other, government must regulate our diets. Thank you. My name is George Wiggum. I am the junior class president at Western Reserve Academy. I live in Worcester, Ohio, so I live at Western Reserve Academy, so I'm a boarder. I'm looking to go south for college. I really like warm weather. I don't like snow, so I'm looking at Florida, Texas, Georgia, South Carolina, anywhere in the south pretty much. I want to study business, accounting, and finance. So, yeah. Thank you very much.
It's all right, George. Nobody was listening.
One is here. Yeah. Yeah. You get some hard. Yeah.
Not really.
Who saw it coming? I did.
White around the braids. No, they still do.
Did you know I have
And that's part of what I do. Downtown Akron. Sprint Since 1990. I've been in the current location over 15 years. But almost 30 years. Yeah. We'll see. I'd love to be able to do economy class against it.
Imagine the hottest day you can remember. Sun pounding down, sweltering. It's hot. Now imagine it 5, 10, even 15 degrees hotter. This is our future according to the world's leading climate scientists, unless we change our habits. Wasteful, inefficient, and harmful methods of harnessing energy have left humans in an environment in which we continue to poison to this very day. Only by drastically reducing our fossil fuel use and increasing our use of renewable energy sources can we hope to prosper in the new world. Today, using the Rotary four-way test, I would like to investigate why we must move towards renewable energy sources and away from fossil fuels. The first question in the four-way Rotary test is it the truth? While American politicians sometimes like to make global warming an issue and something to take a side on, the facts can no longer be ignored just because a political party has been bought by corporations and big business in order to avoid regulations that could potentially harm their business. Big oil has pulled the wool over America's eyes in order to make a quick buck, but this will harm America and the rest of the world in the near future. Global warming is a problem, and it is a problem we must address. By reducing our use of fossil fuels, America can eliminate the political corruption associated with big business harming the environment, as well as our dependency on foreign oil, which currently dominates our foreign policy. The second question in the four-way test is it fair to all concerned? Unfortunately, it is not. Although we may enjoy the spring-like weather in the middle of winter, global warming has many more skeletons in its closet than a day in the 60s in the middle of February. As water expands as it warms, and rising temperatures cause glacier ice to melt at a faster rate than we've ever seen, sea levels are on the rise, and rise about 1/8 of an inch every year according to the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration of the U.S. Department of Commerce. 1/8 of an inch may not seem like a lot, but as years pass, the 1/8 of an inches quickly add up and will begin melting even faster as the temperatures rise. This will cause devastating erosion and more powerful storm surges than we've ever seen before. It will destroy plants, animal, and fish life. And as humans find the coastal land uninhabitable, it will cause political, economic, and social dissension as a mass migration of people move inward. The decisions of a few elite should not affect everyone so drastically. Whether you're looking at the few deciding the futures of the many as fossil fuel industries continuing their immoral practices, or developed countries like America or China who have the capability of harnessing energy in more environmentally friendly ways but choose not to because of their want of cheap energy, or even the current generation polluting the earth, which belongs to every generation to come. No matter how you look at it, the fossil fuel industry is not fair to anyone concerned. The last question is, the third question is, will it build goodwill and friendships? It will build relationships all around the world. As the world comes together to benefit all of humanity, the renewable energy industry will undoubtedly build goodwill and friendships. With an issue so drastically affecting everyone, countries must work together with a common goal. They will be forced to ignore geopolitical lines and political and cultural differences that currently divide us in order to move forward. Being forced to understand each other will only bring humanity closer and more able to work together to combat other issues. The fourth and final question of the four-way Rotary test is, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Abandoning fossil fuels and relying on renewable energy sources will be beneficial to everyone. It will build a cleaner, safer environment for every man, woman, and child on the planet. With easy and ready access to renewable energy, we can eliminate the fossil fuel corruption and unenvironmentally friendly mindset that comes with harming the environment for a profit. It will benefit countries without the coal or oil deposits that have given certain countries a leg up on those without. The political, economic, and social tensions that would rise with the sea levels may never have to be dealt with if humans eliminate their contribution to global warming. Through the four-way test, I believe if we meet this problem head on, we can actually bring about economic, social, and political successes. Global warming is an issue, and while humans are part of the problem, we can also be a part of the solution. Thank you. I'm Casey Semple. I'm a junior at Western Reserve Academy. I live just about a mile away, so I'm a day student there. I'm an editor for the Reserve Record, which is the school's newspaper. I'm also president of the school's Key Club and the Earth Initiative, the environmentally minded club at Western Reserve. Thank you.
Right.
Great, thank you.
they're going to tally the votes, and they're going to be about 10 more minutes so we can visit among each other. In the meantime, I just want to thank everyone that was greeters today. Clint, you're getting doing everything you need to do, buddy. You're really getting to be one of our regulars. Thank you for being a greeter and all looking after everybody. Also, I'd like to thank the audiovisual group, Tom Tobin, Ron Barnhouse, and James Field. And after we have the vote and everything, we'll do the Rotobuck. But in the meantime, just visit. They said they need about 10 minutes, and then I'll come back and tell the winners. Okay?
So I'm just going to take this opportunity to remind everyone that we are involved in the Stowe Monroe Falls Hudson Relay for Life, and it's the easiest way to get to the website is you just Google Hudson Stowe Relay for Life or Stowe Hudson Relay for Life, and it'll take you right here. And there's all ways that you can then sign up if you want to be a member of the team. Thank you.
I can't imagine doing it. You guys
I think that's what it is. When we interviewed the scholarships, we asked all about what teacher but she comes I think the one yes, I think their Rotary sometimes can always put some story. She tells the stories and it's like waiting at the end and I just wonder how long somehow this
I mean, I could give her yeah, that's awesome. So how do you stop the Affordable Care Act? So do you think that she would have said? How is that your business? I'm sitting there thinking, you trying to give me my sausage? You want someone to tell me you can't have that bacon? Right. So what do you think? What's your that's right. You don't be a politician and tell me. I'm going to give it the vote. I'm going to vote. You give us what your opinion. Mom put me up. And now you're not answering. You think your government should tell you how to eat?
No. I don't think that's
Took you a while, but you
All I can think of government regulating what I eat is New York City. Yeah, the giant cups of soda.
I think the cool thing about your idea is that freedom and really to take to go to give us power to I told him he couldn't be a politician yet. He tried the politician. I told him that. I said, he wasn't mature. He wasn't which bothered me that I'm just trying to see that microphone. That commercial. Yeah, I'd ask them about that.
Let me see what kind of powder I'm so tired of having
No, you don't.
right here.
little closer. You can cover up the
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
All right. Next time, give each other a rose. What? Thank you. Well, no, that would be great. Yeah, there we go. That's
If everyone would please, can I have your attention? We're ready to continue. I didn't hear.
Don't read the wrong card like it.
Oh, I'm not going to do it, so Mr. Ahern is, so Jim, he said don't read the wrong card.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I'm sorry I missed that. Can we ask Brian? Is he still here? All right, come on up, Brian and Matt. And the 4 contestants, I'd like you up here while we get started or get finished. I did want to share that for the last 6 years that we've been doing this, the representative that won here placed, every one the last 6 years have placed in the top 5 at the districts. And usually there's 40 to 45 competitors in that regard. So it says a lot for the quality of the competition. You bring out the best in everybody. And this is the hard part because, again, the voting was close. It was close. And so what I'd like to do is start with, if you can get the that's good. That's good. And so you all did a great job.
Oh, so it's on the, okay. So it's on the table.
Okay. We have 4 places, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st, and the 4th place will get $100, and that is George Wiggum.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Third place for $200 winner here, Casey Semple.
Congratulations.
Down to the last 2. This is the one you know who won when they named number 2. This was really close at the end. Everybody's done a great job. Yeah, that's why this is so much fun to do when you see you folks up here doing this. $300 winner, Subi Simmons. It's our pleasure to ask Maria Zhao to represent us at the district competition. I'm sure you're going to do a great job. First place, $400. Great job. Can we give them all a big hand for what they did? Fantastic job. Fantastic job. And we can't do it without Brian Carr and Matt Peterson. Good luck, Matt, in your future. And thanks to Ted representing the Rotary Club of Clock Tower Rotary Club and getting that organized on that side. This is a joint effort, so it's great. I think we're done. We're going to get some pictures because this is going to be in the hub. Oh, well, let's get everybody. You're done already? Okay, fantastic. Good job.